Stephen A. Smith is facing more criticism from black media figures, and now D.L. Hughley and Godfrey have both joined in. The backlash started after the National Association of Black Journalists gave Stephen A. its Thumbs Down award, accusing him of a pattern of harsh commentary toward prominent black women. Stephen responded by going on Fox News with Sean Hannity, and that decision made things worse. On D.L. Hughley's Uncertain podcast, D.L. and his co-hosts argued that Stephen should have treated the NABJ criticism like professional feedback. Instead, they say he became defensive and ran to Fox News.
Stephen A. Smith. Now, the NABJ, which is the National Association of Black Journalists, gave Stephen A. Smith thumbs down. Let's take a look at what the president of the organization said.
NABJ was among the institutions that was hoping that he would not continue with these kinds of remarks and with these kinds of with this kind of rhetoric specifically against Black women. This is about a broader pattern and the responsibility that really comes with having a significant platform. He has a real history with NABJ, and I hope that our voice matters to him too, because yes, we can celebrate your success, but also that is what gives us the credibility to really challenge him in this moment, because we're in community, and that's what community is supposed to be.
She basically talked about his recurring pattern of, disparaging comments that were, toward particularly women of color. Jasmine, you are a member of the NABJ, right?
I am.
And what did you think of them giving Stephen A. Smith the Thumbs Down Award? Now, this is a new award. They've given it out to a lot of people. He's not the only black person to ever have gotten it, right?
No, he is not.
I think Armstrong Williams did. I think, and even in this, Barry Weiss got it, who is from CBS.
Yes.
There was somebody from Circle City Broadcasting, I imagine, and then the chairman of the FCC.
That was DeJuan McCoy.
Yeah, he's a nigga, right? A darky.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Brendan Carr, who is the chairman of the FCC. Who is now actually being sued by ABC, because I guess the gloves are off now. They're tired of the Trump administration doing exactly what the Constitution prohibits, which is using the power of governance to impact, people's lives. What I found interesting is that he was more angry at you all for giving him what is tantamount to a professional correction than when Donald Trump impugned his integrity and his intelligence. Yeah. And the fact that he went right to Fox News. Like it gave me that I'm telling massive vibes. Like black journalists telling the NABJ giving him an award and him running right to a white journalist is like getting kicked out the cookout and running the Cracker Barrel to complain. It's too much salt in the food. And people, when it is someone from your sphere, from somebody from your endeavor, and they make a judgment of you, that is not, he called it a political statement. It is very much not. It is a report card.
Yeah.
It is a report card. And the fact that he's so quickly, it definitely gave me that Drake telling on Kendrick vibe. Like that, I'm suing somebody.
And that joke basically sums up their issue. Why would a black journalist respond to criticism from black journalists by going to Sean Hannity? Godfrey asked the same question.
So Stephen A. Smith got the Thumbs Down Award from the National Association of Black Journalists. Even though Stephen A. Smith did some events for them, you can see that there's proof. He got a thumbs down. And he's a journalist, sports journalist, been around for a long time. He's had the #1 show for 14 years. First Take, I used to watch that loyally. And then there were times where he would say things like in the past couple of years, he says things you're just like, wait, what? Yo, are you with us or against us, man? I don't know. He's getting paid. He's like the #1 guy on ESPN. He's getting a lot of money, but is all that money worth it? Being disapproved by your folks? I mean, I don't know, man. It just looks a little weird. You know what I'm saying? They're doing a lot of different like animated things about him being in all kind of. Something's going on. A lot of black folks ain't happy with you, Steve. I don't know what to say, man. Listen. He goes on. You go on Hannity, man, like Fox News. Why are you at Hannity? Why are you doing Sean Hannity? Hannity is definitely a right-wing racist. He really is. I just wonder, why would you go there? Why didn't you go to some other stations that we actually dig? Why couldn't you go on Abby's thing on CNN or something? Why Hannity? That's why it's looking real crazy right now. Why would you run to Hannity? And by the way, Hannity, that motherfucking wig you wearing, I don't know if it's a wig. I do not know what that is. But why do you look like a mobster from the early 1900s? I swear to God, I thought he was going to interview him like, yeah, I heard the journalists don't like you too much there. They're mad at you there, huh? Don't worry, Stephen. Stick with me, kid. You're going to be a star, a journalistic star.
DL's podcast also accused Stephen of having a double standard. They argue that Stephen often goes extremely hard at black public figures like LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Colin Kaepernick, while sounding much softer when talking about powerful people like Donald Trump or Dana White.
One of the times I thought was with the backlash, was the temperature rose the hottest, was his critique of Jasmine Crockett, and this is his apology.
Jasmine Crockett was owed an apology by me once the argument was made that what I said about her was fodder for the right to use to justify how they would come at her. I don't want to assist somebody coming at the sister like that, question her intelligence, her IQ, because she was called low IQ by Trump and people on the right were attacking her. I'm not down for that. And any role that I played in assisting in that kind of rhetoric towards this sister, that's what I was apologizing for.
And the thing I found interesting is that he said that he realized that the right was using his critique of her as fodder. And she got a lot of death threats and a lot of condemnation. But the interesting thing is that he continues to go to Fox. Fox was started, Fox really got his start. Martin and Living Single, gave Fox their toehold. But they really started, into the entree into television. It was their first successful programs, and then they begot other things like football, and then it became a more popular mainstream network. It used to be only 3, and then Fox became one. Yeah. But as soon as Fox got a toehold, it in terms of his news division, it made a specific decision to go after Jesse Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So everything about Fox is either Jesse Jackson when it started, or then it was Al Sharpton, then of course it was Barack Obama, and then it was Black Lives Matter, and then of course it was Kamala Harris, and then it's because their stock and trade, they're an amplification for black messiness. They want black people to be front and center of their specific business model is to go after and malign black people as red meat for their audience.
Yeah.
They did not impugn his integrity or his intelligence.
Correct.
Or his professionalism. What they did was impugn his vantage point. That man, Donald Trump, impugned his intelligence.
True, but I think, like you said, the report card of your own peers. I think
it's not that. I think Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. Smith deals with white men and white men or white people differently. Dana White slapped somebody, and Stephen A. Smith all but wrote him a love letter. I'm not even trying to be funny.
No,
look at how he interacts with LeBron James. Yep. Look at how he interacts with black people. Look at Kyrie Irving. Yeah. I've never seen him go after anybody on the right with any level of the tenacity he does with black people.
Their argument is not that Stephen should never criticize black people. That would be ridiculous. The issue is the difference in energy. Why does Stephen seem so aggressive when criticizing certain black figures, but much more careful around powerful white figures? DL also criticized Stephen for constantly bringing up his black family whenever people accuse him of being disconnected from the community. Stephen talks about being raised by black women, having black daughters, and supporting black organizations. But DL's point is simple. Having black relatives does not automatically mean every criticism against you is wrong.
Do you really believe that these white people are going to save you when you lose your numbers with the black audience? What's going to happen then?
I believe he believes like everybody else that they will use you until you're not useful anymore. Even his run, his this pretend four-way, this fall run into the presidency. First off, white people will never vote for him. MAGA, this iteration of MAGA will never vote for him. And in order to be the Democratic nominee, you need black people, which you do not have. And you need black women specifically. Who's going to knock on doors? Who's gonna hold fish fries? Who's gonna hold the clipboards? So for him to pretend like he has a toe, and now for sure he knows.
Yeah.
His hairline will come back before black women do. It will.
That might be true.
And to pretend like, and there's a certain pattern that people like that follow when you're courting MAGA. Like you always have to talk about your blackness. I was raised by a black mother, and I had black daughters, and I had black aunties. You didn't talk to near one of them when you got in trouble.
You did not.
I see you got a white daddy, that's for sure. You didn't talk to none of them, but you trot them out as some kind of bona fide. Him saying that is like Tatum saying officer. It gives you these bona fides. But the problem with him is, don't tell me you know black people and you didn't know black. If you knew black people, you were raised by a black woman, you had on black people, you know they wasn't going to shut the fuck up. You know they going to say something.
Yeah. That's what I don't understand.
You
He
knew
always
they
talks
gonna say
about
something.
all these women that he was raised with or raised by or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, so not one of them pulled your coat and said,
Maybe.
you know what, you're on the wrong side.
The biggest warning from DL was about Stephen's relationship with the black community. Stephen A. Smith is extremely valuable to mainstream media because he has credibility, access, and relationships with black athletes and entertainers. But what happens if those people stop trusting him? What happens if black athletes stop giving him interviews? What happens if the audience starts seeing him as somebody who is more comfortable with Sean Hannity than with the black journalists criticizing him? DL argues that Stephen's position is not as secure as it looks. Yes, he has a huge contract. Yes, he is one of the biggest personalities at ESPN. But part of his value comes from his connection to black culture. If that connection disappears, his value to mainstream media could change too. Godfrey makes a similar point. Stephen has money, he has status, he has influence, but is all of that worth it if a growing number of black people no longer trust him?
His sports shit, I'm a fan of Stephen A. Smith with the sports shit. I always have been. I like how he talks his shit. He can be a dickhead. I like that shit. But then when he went over trying to dog Jasmine Crockett, telling her how she needs to talk to me, I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, son?
Stephen A. Smith has spent a lion's share of his career debating people with CTE.
There it is.
Okay? No matter what you want to put on him in terms of he's supposed to be such a brilliant, orator. He's such a brilliant mind. He's quick on his feet.
Yeah.
It's not hard to spar intellectually or verbally with Shannon Adiba Sharp. Okay?
Wait.
And that's what he's been doing for the most of his career.
That is really what this whole controversy is about. Not whether Stephen A. Smith is successful. He obviously is. Not whether he is allowed to criticize black people. Of course he is. The real question is whether Stephen is becoming disconnected from the community that helped make him valuable in the first place. DL and Godfrey are basically telling him the same thing. You can disagree with black people. You can criticize black politicians, athletes, and journalists. But if every time those people challenge you, your first instinct is to run to Fox News and Sean Hannity, eventually people are going to start asking who you actually feel most comfortable standing beside. And judging by the reaction from DL Hughley, Godfrey, and the NABJ, that question is only getting louder.